You are listening to The Dr. Haley Show, the podcast dedicated to helping you optimize your health. Each episode, there will be an interview or a message to help you discover better health. We will be featuring health radicals on the show to bring new ideas to the table, as well as doubling down on key fundamentals to support you living your best life. Your host is no other than the founder of Haley Nutrition, Dr. Michael Haley.
I'm Dr. Michael Haley, host of the Dr. Haley Show podcast, which you can find at drhaley.com, drhaley.com. Today I want to share a story with you of something that, well, I experienced about 20 years ago, a little over 20 years ago. I believe it was in 2004, when I had read an article in one of the chiropractic journals that bothered me a little bit. And the reason I was bothered, it's maybe a little arrogant of me to think that I should be bothered because I could tell the author knew more than I did about something. But that's a true story. I had written an article, and may have been more of an advertorial, written by a guy that had a lot of experience in the area of fruits and vegetables. And I knew he knew more about fruits and vegetables than I did. And at the time, I was actually supplementing with a powdered fruits and vegetables that was in capsules. I didn't really notice anything from taking them, but I knew that it was important to have fruits and vegetables every day and a variety of fruits and vegetables representing all of the colors. And that's kind of what this article was about. I already knew that, but I could tell that the writer knew more than me. So I had contacted the author. I looked up his name, got a hold of him, got him on the phone, and told him I read his article and that I was bothered because I felt maybe I was missing out on something. And we started talking about supplements and powdered fruits and vegetables. And he said, well, actually, I am the developer of this particular product. And he mentioned a brand. And he said, but I've been working on something new that's going to be even better. I thought, well, that sounds interesting. I'd like to buy some. He said, well, you can't buy it. It's not made yet. He said, but I can send you some samples. I said, okay, that sounds good. I gave him my address, and a few days later, I had samples of this product that wasn't available yet. And I started taking them. And I felt different in a real good way. I felt energized, awake, alert. So much so that I was concerned. I thought maybe they're putting ephedra or ephedrine or cocaine or something in this that is just making me feel alive. I felt too good, so good that I was concerned, so I didn't tell anyone. I thought, I better do some research and start looking up all these ingredients and see why I feel so darn good. And the ingredients were really powdered fruits and vegetables and a couple herbs like herbal teas that were included, like black tea and white tea and green tea. And there was broccoli and carrots and mango and algae and wheatgrass juice. Powder, actually. Everything was powdered. And I didn't see anything that would concern me. It was all things that seemed to be real good for you. And after taking this product for just a few days and not telling anyone that I was taking it, my wife at the time had approached me. And she said, my mom and I both notice a difference in you. Are you taking antidepressants? That was the question. Are you taking drugs? We see such a difference in you. And I wanted to clarify a point first, and I remember saying something like, first, I want you to know that I'm not depressed, haven't been depressed, I would just come home and I was out of energy. I used up all the energy I had. So I kind of sat on the couch with the remote control. And she said something like, now you're coming home from work and you're playing with our son and having a good time and you're all happy. Well, I just had energy. I wasn't done. I wasn't wiped out anymore. I would come home and I'm looking for other things to do all of a sudden. Not because I was energetic, but I wasn't wiped out. I was alert. I was clear thinking. I didn't feel like I needed a nap or had to go to bed or anything like that. I felt like I had a lot more in me, like the day was still young. And she said, well, what are you doing? And I told her about this supplement I was taking. The first thing she said was, can I have some? Of course. Because who wouldn't want to have a whole bunch of extra energy? So I had realized that the reason I was running out of energy wasn't because I had done so much, but it was because I was nutrient deficient. I didn't have enough fuel, enough energy, enough gasoline in the tank to get me through the full day. And the small amount of powder, of juice powder, of fruit and vegetable juice powder that I was getting in 2 capsules was not enough. Now, I actually did the math and figured out with this particular product, when I took a scoop, I was getting the equivalent of more than 40 capsules. So I guess I probably could have swallowed a whole bunch of more capsules and probably had a similar benefit. Of course, that would have been a lot more expensive a way to get the same amount of nutrition, but it probably would have worked. Which is why I don't take capsules anymore. I get a fruit and vegetable powder that comes in a scoop. You can fit a lot more powder in a scoop than you can capsules. What's the difference? Okay, maybe it's a little less convenient because you need to scoop something into a glass and add some water and stir it and drink it down, and that means you're actually going to taste it, because when it's in capsules, you don't really taste it. You're just swallowing capsules. But I'd rather have the scoop and taste it and be one with what I'm consuming and truly enjoy it and appreciate it. It makes more sense to me. After all, that's how we're supposed to consume our food. So we're supposed to taste it and enjoy it. Side note, at the time I was eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and having a big salad every day. Why wasn't I getting enough? Over the years, they had recommended that you consume, the first recommendations said something like 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables. And then other organizations, like there was, the American Heart Association, and there was the Food and Drug Administration, all of these organizations that would come out with their own recommendations. And it went from 5 to 7 to 7 to 9 to 10 to 13 for men. I don't know why they recommended more for men, but that's what the recommendations were. And I think it's because our fruits and vegetables are deficient. They are less nutritious than they were, say, in the Garden of Eden, where they probably had a lot more color and a lot more aroma and a lot more flavor, a lot more to taste when you consume them, a lot more nutrients. Nutrients give fruits and vegetables their color and their aroma and their flavor. And, we're growing things bigger and faster and not giving them a chance to get as many nutrients in them. That's why organic is better for you. They're more nutritious. They're more nutrient dense, but not always as available. So you might have to consume more of the things that are grown faster in less nutritious soil. It's just the fact of life. Or grow your own, of course. That's always the best. Well, at the time, in 2004, that particular product, I had stuck with it a whole bunch of years. I did wonder what the next level would be, and eventually we at Haley Nutrition made our own similar product, only better. Why better? Well, not only did we add the digestive enzymes, but also probiotics. We used less of the filler ingredients. What are filler ingredients? Sometimes, especially in powders, things are used to add certain textures and to make things dissolve better. We don't use those things. Like, for instance, the easiest explanation would be like in a protein drink. A lot of the protein powders have guar gum or something to suspend the protein so it doesn't drift to the bottom and settle. And those fillers, to thicken them up and just suspend the particles to give you a more uniform drink, to me, that's an unnecessary type of ingredient. I just want the protein. I don't want the extras to try to make it stir better or not sink to the bottom in my glass. I'm not worried about those things. I want the nutrients, not all of the fluff. And it's nice when it tastes good. But so our particular fruit and vegetable blend that we have, and I'm going to clarify one thing on the name. A lot of people see the name and they say, oh, L.A. Greens, like Los Angeles greens. No, that's Iagreens, like I agree with you. And it says phytonutrient-rich superfood. And yes, I definitely have that same energy benefit when I take the Iagreens, similar to when I had that other brand years ago. Not that I take it and I feel wired like I just drank a bunch of coffee, which eventually makes you crash anyway. But I tend to have this in the morning because it gives me the nutrition that I need so that when I get to the end of the day, I'm not crashing. I feel like there's always more to do, and I can now do it because I have that extra bit of energy. If I do take it at night, oddly, it doesn't keep me awake. When my body needs the rest, I can still sleep on it. I do know some people that will consume this at nighttime because of the digestive enzymes. What's a digestive enzyme? Enzymes catalyze reactions. So when it comes to our food, as we're eating our food, the enzymes will help break down the molecules into usable nutrition. I hope you're enjoying this podcast. This month, use the coupon code 7FEB for February. That's the number 7, FEB, for 7% off your entire purchase at HaleyNutrition.com, now through the end of February 2025. You can save more by getting bundles. As an example, when you get the 3-canister bundle of Iagreens vegetable and fruit powder, you save $11 per canister. But you can save even more by using this coupon. And if you find items or bundles on sale, take an additional 7% off the on-sale items as well. We must be crazy. Losing our marbles here at Haley Nutrition. Practically giving things away if you combine the discounted bundles that are on sale and you use the coupon. Have at it. Now, back to the podcast. I've told this story before. The best demonstration I've had of enzymes was when Dr. Andrea Hazim from New Life Chiropractic in Pompano Beach, Florida, Fort Lauderdale. It's one of the two. It's kind of on the border of Pompano Beach and Fort Lauderdale. In a nutrition class, she had made a bowl of oatmeal. And on it, she opened up those 2 fruit and vegetable capsules and sprinkled it on the oatmeal because in those capsules were digestive enzymes. It's very common to have digestive enzymes in the powdered fruits and vegetables because enzymes are naturally occurring in fruits and vegetables. Aloe vera is very enzyme rich with 8 different enzymes in it. So as you consume your food, you're releasing the enzymes to help digest the food that you ate. That's why chewing your food is so important. If it's blended or, ground into fine particles and juiced and dried, those enzymes are already released, ready to go to work. So she sprinkled the capsules on the oatmeal, and we watched the oatmeal liquefy in the bowl over about the next 5 minutes or so. And that helped me understand how enzymes work. What I've noticed is, and maybe this has happened to you, where maybe on Thanksgiving, maybe you ate too much and you just felt like, it was up to here, like the food was up to your throat and not digesting. It was just sitting there. When you consume digestive enzymes, which you can get in capsules, or you can have a fruit and vegetable powdered supplement that has digestive enzymes in it, you'll feel the food digesting much faster. A lot of times you'll notice a change in the next 5 to 10 minutes where it's just relief and it's like, it's not just sitting there anymore. Things are breaking down like they're supposed to and starting to move. It starts initiating that transit to get it moving through your body. What a relief. So a lot of people will use a supplement like this at nighttime before they go to bed and they have the food just sitting there. It's difficult to sleep well when you're undigested, when you just ate, when you have a full belly and it feels like there's pressure there. Some people, it causes acid reflux. Sometimes the acid reflux is the undigested food sitting there up towards the top, and it needs to start breaking down and moving towards the bottom of your digestive system. People with acid reflux, I recommend that before bedtime they try digestive enzymes. It's kind of diagnostic, just to see if it's actually your food that's not digesting, because maybe if you're experiencing acid reflux when you lie down, maybe you just need to finish eating earlier before you go to bed so the food can digest better, or you need to take a digestive enzyme supplement or a supplement that has digestive enzymes in it. What else is so special about powdered fruits and vegetables? I mentioned all of the colors. The reason it's important to have different colors is the colors tell you something about the kind of nutrients that you're getting. For instance, your dark berries, the purples and the deep reds, those are going to be higher antioxidant. Your polyphenols and things that really have a high ORAC score, the ability to quench free radicals. That happens to be one of the things that phytonutrients do. Why don't we call them antioxidants? Because that kind of limits your thought as to what they do. Yes, they're antioxidants, but they're also hormone regulators. Phytonutrients, powdered fruits and vegetables, help your body regulate hormones. Some of them will even cause cellular apoptosis in cells that don't belong, such as cancer cells. So we could call them cancer killers as well as antioxidants, right? Well, again, that's still limiting their function. They increase intercellular communication, help your body communicate better. Why don't we call them communicators? Again, you're just limiting them as to what they can do. They aid in so many functions in your body. And why don't we have established values for these nutrients? I mean, wasn't there a recommended daily allowance that eventually became your recommended dietary intake? And I don't even know if that's what they still call it anymore. But there was this list of vitamins that is growing over the years. Every now and then they add another nutrient to it and say you should have this much every day. How come we don't have that established for phytonutrients? There are too many to list. Thousands, literally thousands. There's probably 25,000 known phytonutrients, maybe more than that. And we can discover more every day if we really put our attention to it. And it's not that absence of them every day is going to cause any problems, but not getting them over time will. And we don't know to what extent or how we would even measure that. But there seems to be a definite connection between people that are getting more fruits and vegetables and their overall health. I shouldn't even say fruits and vegetables. I should say phytonutrients or zoonutrients. What's the difference? Sometimes nothing, other than where they came from. Because a lot of people don't consume fruits and vegetables, but still get their nutrients from the animal foods that they eat that consumed the phytonutrients. Well, now they're in the animals, so they're no longer called phytonutrients. The same nutrient can be called a zoonutrient from the animal kingdom. So that's your quick synopsis of phytonutrition, plant nutrients, how I came to realize they were so important in my life. If you want to add them to your plan, I do recommend you find a brand that works for you, one that you'll consume daily, because it's not only easy to add to your routine, but also maybe even tastes pretty good. The way we work on the taste with the Iagreens, it is sweetened with stevia. Some people don't like stevia. I happen to like stevia. Stevia works with some things, not with everything. I wouldn't put it in hot coffee, but it does seem to work in cold coffee for me. In hot coffee, it tastes a little chemical-like, even though stevia is not a chemical. It's from the stevia leaf. It's kind of like a tea. If you put stevia leaves in hot water, you could actually make a hot stevia tea. It would be a sweet tea from the stevia plant. Stevia is also very anti-cancer and antioxidant and has many beneficial nutrients in it. So certainly a good option. But I found stevia to be a little sweet and needs to be balanced with something that is a little tart to really be tasty. In the case of the Iagreens, you'll notice on the end of the ingredients, natural flavors, which for a lot of people is a red flag, because natural, what does natural mean anymore? In our case, the natural flavor is berry powder, and berries are tart. So when we combine the sweetness of the stevia with the tartness of the berries, it tends to give it a very almost like lemonade type of synergy, the sweet and sour. Who doesn't like lemonade? Only in this case, it's a healthy balance of flavors. Lemon and sugar. Who wants sugar? But tart and stevia, now we have a healthy sweet and sour type of combination. Works very, very well. And it helps cover the earthy taste that you would otherwise be experiencing if we didn't have those flavors in there, because there's a lot of vegetation in these blends, in these phytonutrient blends. So it makes it very easy to consume daily and even look forward to. It's a great alternative to people that would want an energy drink because they're looking for that burst of energy. In this case, you're getting something that's going to naturally energize, naturally fuel you, and if it does that and you're finding yourself to be awake and alert, why would you reach for an energy drink that's going to give you a temporary boost followed by a crash? Well, I've said enough. That's my spiel. Head over to HaleyNutrition.com and try the Iagreens. At the time I'm making this video, if you're seeing it months later, it may not be the case, but we do have some real good specials at HaleyNutrition.com that include the phytonutrition powder because, well, we don't have any aloe to sell right now. We've been out of aloe for a couple months. For those wondering, it's coming soon. I'm working every day. I've been in communication with our new farmer as recently as in the last hour, making things happen so that hopefully by mid-March, we're in the year 2025. Right now we're mid-February, but hopefully by mid-March we'll be fully stocked again and able to serve our customers that are on the waiting list for aloe vera. Well, I hope you enjoyed the discussion and learned something from it. Please subscribe for more content. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like the video. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or on Spotify or wherever you consume your podcasts. Thanks for checking this out.
I hope you enjoyed that episode today on The Dr. Haley Show. Make sure to hit subscribe on whichever platform you are listening to this. If this episode made you think of someone, go ahead, take a screenshot, and share this exact episode with them. You can catch the show notes for this episode on www.drhaley.com. If you want to geek out with Dr. Michael Haley on other radical health topics, be sure to check out his YouTube channel, where he posts exclusive video content. All the details are at www.drhaley.com, and we can't wait to hang out with you on the next episode.